welcome back, everyone. Up now, we have Juan, who's going to be doing his talk on the adventure of building an Indio studio, key lessons from the inside. So, without any further ado, the stage is now yours.
Thank you very much, Ash, Indie Game Business, for this opportunity and this great event. My name is Juan Pablo Guzmán. I'm the CEO of Infinite Thread Games, a Spanish indie game studio. And well, we would like to share in this talk our experience on building our game around game studio, maybe some tips that probably or could help you. We're going to talk our story, and this story probably is the story of many other studios, and well, maybe you will find some good ideas, or maybe you will feel like encouraged or motivated to go ahead. So um, the story of creating a studio or building a studio is like this image from Monkey Island, which is my favorite game. So it's like this statement from Guybrush Threepwood. My name is Guybrush Threepwood, and I want to be a pirate. And what I have to do to be a pirate, this is like the adventure. You don't have any guidance. You have to create your own way, find a map, find a crew, find a boat, and then go to the adventure of the high ocean. This is how we see this story, this adventure, finding great people that will help you during the your way. So first thing, we will talk about our story, how was created, how Infinite Thread Games was created. We will give you some key steps and some tips, and we will also talk about the two games that you have developed and that we are developing: Hitori Kakurenbo Online and Hidalgo, which is the one that we are right now developing. Infinite Thread Games started as many other studios from a academic of environment. In this case, was in the International University of Valencia, in a master degree, in a master in game design and development. We started this master in 2019, and well, it was an online master, and then the pandemic came. So we can say that we are children of the pandemic, as many studios, but well, in our case, it wasn't different because we were doing the master online. So it was in fact a good time for starting the studio in our case. In this master, we, as end master degree, we decided to create a team with my two partners or co-founders, Marta and Elena, and we decided to do an end master project all together. They are more in the artistic area, and I was in the programming area, in more a technical area. As product of this master, we created a little game which was It's Your Turn, Hitori Kakurenbo, based on a Japanese ritual. Then I'm going to show you the trailer that we created from this master. I will show you a few trailers of our games in order also to show you how was the evolution of a studio starting from the very beginning to a more consolidated or more mature studio. In this case, it was a single player game based on a Japanese horror ritual, or like a creepy pasta, in which you have to take a doll. You have to do a ritual with the doll, which includes removing its stuff. You also have to use some items as rice, your fingernails, which is very strange, and red thread to finish the ritual. And after that, you can put the doll in in the bathroom, in a bath with water. And after that, the legend says that the the doll came alive and play with you as in a hide and seek game. So I'll let you watch the trailer. So after this game that was released on 2020, as I said, as a product of this End Master project, we entered a pre-incubation program, and this was a very important key point in our case. We have been in other incubation and acceleration programs that I will tell you in a minute, but this was our very first moment in which we saw that we wanted to take it as a professional career, the game development. In this pre-incubation program that was placed on Barcelona, but it was online, we learned many things about production, about marketing, business plan, um, not just game development, but also, okay, how to create a company. In our case in Spain, but maybe it can be, of course, projected to other countries. We learn how to create a pitch and how to pitch. We make the team growth. We were 3 people at the beginning. After the program, we were 8 people. Of course, we were able to sign a shareholder agreement, and we went to some events as the demo day or indie dev day in Barcelona. Um, I highlight the playtesting as a very key important thing in this kind of programs, because they focus also on give you the opportunity of show your game to the public, to the audience, and receive feedback, which is very important from the very beginning stages of game development. And sometimes game developers are quite shy to show our creations, but I think it's very important to place test even from the very beginning. In 2023, we access to two programs, different programs: the incubation program in Madrid in game, and also the acceleration, the European Video Game Accelerator by Spielfabrik. These two programs were very important for us because they give us a lot of visibility in press, in media. We had access to very important mentors, international mentors, people that were working on the industry for many years, and that gives you advices, key advices. We were also in events, and in Madrid we had a workspace. Well, because we work remotely, but sometimes to have a space to do meetings or to meet people, and even to do team building things, it's important, you know. In 2024, last year, we launched Hitori Kakurenbo Online, which was the game that we were developing since this single player that I show you. This game, we took the story of Hitori Kakurenbo and moved it to a multiplayer game in which you can play as the doll, the evil doll, or as one of the teenagers that had created this ritual, and they're trying to survive. So in an asymmetrical horror game, we released in early access. We have 7 playable characters, 6 the teenagers and 1 the doll, which is uh, fully customizable, and you can play in 1 versus 6 more. We released with 2 maps, and we were adding more content, and we're still adding content as this is already still in early access. So I'm going to show you the trailer in order to show you the evolution from the very beginning single player game of Hitori Kakurenbo to the Hitori Kakurenbo Online. So you can see a clear evolution from the first game to this more mature game. We want to highlight all the evolution because it is a very important thing in our opinion, that we are in constant evolution. A game studio, an indie game studio, has to be in constant evolution, constant learning. So from the very beginning things that you are doing to the last thing you are doing right now, you will be evolving, you will be learning things, adapting to new techniques, to new styles of art. So this is very important, to be humble and to be also um, um, focused on learning and improving. So this led to us to 2025, in which since 2023 we were developing Hidalgo, which is our new game after Hitori Kakurenbo Online. And as you can see, we moved to a new art style and even a new game style. Why? Because we wanted to create a good portfolio, a narrow portfolio, a wide portfolio. So in this case, we moved to a cozy experience, a co-op experience that can be played single or co-op, and it's based on Don Quixote of La Mancha, which is a very important story, worldwide, but also or especially in Spain. It's a cozy puzzle adventure game that can be played cooperative. For multi-platform, we launched a Kickstarter last April, and right now we are in production. We will discuss a little bit about the Kickstarter and the game, because I think it's could be a key moment for us and could be interesting for the audience. But we'll talk about it later. So this was our story up to here, and then we're going to talk on the key steps building an indie team. For us, the most important thing we can speak about investors, pipelines, funding, publishers, continuous learning. But for us, the most important thing is the team, to have a solid team. We think that without a good team, without a good environment in which everyone is happy and comfortable, we won't have the opportunity of creating games and to have a good indie game. So we are three founders, as I told you before. Marta, my partners, Marta and Elena. We have a talented and complete team, including producer. I am the producer, designers, 2D artists, 3D artists, programmers, and there's people focused on the QA. We work 100% remotely, and we use a virtual office, which we can see in these images, which is gather.town, and it's a tool for us, very important, because we can see we have around avatars. We have our space for work, spaces for team meetings, also spaces for team building things and games. So we try to gamify the work and the office, and we have this office, the virtual office, that help us to cover or to fill the gap between, could be on-site work to online work. We can also customize our own avatars. We can customize our own office, so it's very, very fun to work and gather. But also we were very conscious that it was very important to create a solid network of contacts. That's why we were very very we put a lot of importance on entering these kind of programs as pre-incubation programs, incubation, acceleration, because it helps you to meet people, meet a lot of mentors, a lot of teams that sometimes can help you. So we have a solid network of contacts, something with Madrid in game, Level Up in Barcelona, also Spiel Fabrik, and recently in We Play Hub from Turkey. And this help us also to find people that can help us in the development. We have contacts in THQ Nordic, in Epic Games, in Troglodyte Games, or also in Nomada Studios, which in some cases are also indie game studios, but maybe they are 3 or 4 years ahead, and they are in a moment that or they experience the same moment as you a few years ago, so they can give you some advices in key moments. What about funding? Okay, this is the probably one of the most important points for a studio. In our case, we started to fund in the studio with public grants. We received in 2023 for public grants from Europe Creative, also from Catalonia, which is a region in Spain, from Madrid, also a region in Spain, but also from the Ministry of Culture in our country. And we are always trying to find public grants that help us sometimes to cover or to help us and push in the development. We also launched a few months ago a Kickstarter. We also use our own funds, but as you can imagine, funds from the founders are usually quite low. So you have to try to find different sources of funding. Also, publishers or investors. We have in a lot of conversations with publishers and investors. We are right now with conversations with publishers and investors for Hidalgo. And we also offer work for hire services, and we used to do that and help us to fill the gaps sometimes in the funding. So don't be close to work for other people. Obviously, don't forget your own projects, but because you are focusing on learning things and continuously being specializing in some areas, offer these to other studios that can be interested in has this help and this paid help. So be open to these opportunities that can be can appear. And talking about the workflows and the everyday, everyday work. We establish pipelines. This is very important, but pipelines have to be has to be an open document. If you are you're writing these pipelines in documents, it have to be open and live. It has to be live. What I want to say is that when you find different things that can be improved, don't be close to improve the pipelines. The pipelines are not close things, and are not things that apply or things that impose things, but help things that help. If something in the pipeline is not helping, change it. Discuss with the people, with the team, and change it. We also, of course, break into very specific tasks. We assign roles, responsibilities, and leadership. This is very important to um, to make clear the responsibilities of everyone. And of course, and this is something that sometimes we forget, and everybody forgets, is to be empathic, to have empathy in difficult moments. People sometimes are having personal problems, so the leaders have to be sensible to these things, and to help, and to maybe to change sometimes the task or move tasks in order to people to feel comfortable. And very important is the feedback. In my case, as a producer, when I have to give feedback, it's not just a thing that you say this is good or this is bad. Why is this bad, or why it has to be improved? Not only pointing out flaws. The feedback must be constructive, orientated to the action. So if when we give feedback, we have to give an alternative or a way to continue or a way to improve, not just saying this is not working or this is not good. I think this is very important because sometimes in a work environment, sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't like it," or "This is shit," or whatever. These kind of things that can harm you and feel bad. So think of positive feedback, orientated always to be constructive. Very important that I already highlighted it. Playtesting from early stages. You have to listen to the audience because the developer is not the target player. You have to of course, I'm not going to talk about how to build a game, how to create a game. You have to start obviously from a market research, and the developer is not in the Diana, in the target. So try to think in your audience and play with your audience. Don't be shy, or don't be shy on showing your games from the very beginning, because this will help you to know if these mechanics or this art or this whatever is working, and is also doing the thing you want to do, you want the player to do. This will help you to find if what you are doing is going is going through a good way. And well, that there's a lot of news that a lot of studios are closing, these kind of things. There's a lot of people being fired in the game environment, in the game industry. But think that it's opportunity. There's a growing trend and space for indie games. There's a lot of AAA studios that are closing because, well, a lot of things that we're not going to discuss right now. But we find out that there's a growing trend and space for indie games. An example is ClearScore Expedition 33. Um, there's in all the last year there's space for indie games in order to small teams to create great games and to be in the main platforms and to be successful. So so don't be well, don't be discouraged for the news, but also be conscious that there's a lot of competition. There's a very high competition. So you have in quality, quantity, and quality. So you have to strive for excellence and in continuous learning. So this has to encourage you to be best, to be better. But mm, but of course, we are very conscious that we have to go to for excellence and in a continuous learning because everything is evolving very quickly. The engines, the game engines are evolving, creating new features, things that help in the development. So we have to be um, always in the trend. And of course, design based on market trends and opportunities. This is very important to read the market trends in order to create your game. And this is a very important thing for us is we offer opportunities for internships, which sometimes for studios it's hard to receive interns, but I think or we think that is a mutual enrichment for the students, for also the studio, because we think that the education is a way to fuel the industry. We saw it as a company responsibility. So during along the year, we received a few interns that from who we learn things, and we help them to learn things and to have this very first um, I don't know experience in the industry. And well, if we are, I would like to give some tips for working in this industry, not just a studio, but also as a professional. We think it's important to specialize in one engine or tool in order to be specialized in this. Not forget all the other tools that can be, but specialize in one. Stay open to continuous learning. Things that you learn today maybe in 2 months are obsolete, and then you have to learn new things. And very important is to overcome the imposter syndrome. These things that you why not show in our game when it's just white boxing? Why not? Because sometimes we have this imposter syndrome that tell us it's not good enough. Okay, things can improve, but at this moment is what I have right now, and I have to be like I have to care about my little child, which is our game, right? It's important to keep the portfolio updated as a studio, but also as an individual, as a professional. And of course, if you can start with internship or collaborations, um, you can find offers in LinkedIn or in studio websites. And this resource, if you can take notes about it, is a very interesting one. It's by Chris Main. It's like a table with all updated, every day updated, with all the offers in the area of animation, video games. You can find opportunities there, and it's worldwide. So this guy Chris Main takes time every day to update this list of open opportunities. So take a look at it if you need an opportunity. And now I'm going to talk about our game Hidalgo, which is the game that we are developing right now in full production. Hidalgo is an exploration and puzzle adventure that can be played one player or two players in local co-op, and it's targeted to be released next year on Q2 to Q3 with a business model of premium business model of around $20, and it will take 5 to 6 hours to complete the full experience. And we are targeting to release on PC, and Steam, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. It's based on Don Quixote story, this universal story, but not also the story of Don Quixote. Hidalgo tells the story of a family that is rediscovering the joy of playing all together. They play in a handmade diorama placed in an attic. This environment will help us to to sometimes break the fourth wall, because we have the two main characters, Don Quixote and Sancho, but also the family that is telling the story. The characters in this case of Don Quixote and Sancho are puppets on strings, and they have different abilities that has to be used in order to cooperate and then to solve the puzzles or the the task or the quest. To give you an example of some mini games and puzzles, you can use Sancho and his donkey to push objects or to pull objects, but also you can throw rocks to solve environmental puzzles. You can also use Don Quixote's ability to charge, to break obstacles, or even share the ships, to help the ships. And you can also break the fourth wall by asking the family that is on the we call it the meta environment to change the landscape by moving objects and to save in an inventory. So in this case, you can see the case of a bridge that can be stored in or saved in an inventory and then use it to in another place to cross the bridge. So these all ingredients gives us an opportunity to do a lot of different puzzles, and for the designing team is quite fun to create a new puzzle in which, or a new quest in which you have to use all of these ingredients. But sometimes, as you can remember the story of Don Quixote was a delusional man that wanted to be a medieval knight. He read a lot of books and he thought he was a medieval knight. And through his eyes, he saw things. In this case, on the right, we can see a very iconic moment of the story in which a windmill from the Castilla-La Mancha area in Spain is transformed into a giant, because Don Quixote see or saw a giant in the windmill. And after that, which is a puzzle, a parallax puzzle and perspective using from objects from the background and objects from the foreground to reconstruct this delusional shape. After that, and after the giant is reconstructed, we can fight the giant in an epic combat against the windmill giant. They're family-friendly battles in the case of Hidalgo, in which you have to coordinate Don Quixote and Sancho in co-op and in single player, and they're played in third-person combat. We have also to give the opportunity of players to find different things and explore secret places and side missions. We have these collectible cards, which is based on an original historical cards from 1931, in which every card is a character from the novel or a scene or a chapter of the novel. So we thought that it was interesting cards, and we move it to our own art style. What are we working now? Well, we are working on the co-op mode, which is now finished, but of course, as you can imagine, it's a thing that it will be take a lot of time to polish. We are working on a wide variety of puzzles, a lot of immersive environments with different different art styles, such as in the case of the upper animated GIF is a forest. In the case of the below photo is a cave. But at the end of the day, 5 deeply narrative chapters with moments to relax, moments to solve puzzles, moments to think, and moments to enjoy. this colorful environment and this universal story. As you can see, the art is very important in Hidalgo, and we are very conscious that you have to be a um, mm, very improved production pipeline. So in the case of the art pipeline, it is organized based on needs. So we are always all the time thinking and discussing what are the needs of this part, or what are the needs right now of the project in the area or in the artistic area, and is the pipeline working, or are there any funnel that stop or any stopper that can be improved to optimize the pipeline. We also adapt the style to the art director's vision, of course. So everything has a moment to be analyzed by the art director, and of course, there's moment to coordinate with external departments, with animation and programming. So inside the pipeline, there's this moment to speak with the art director, speak with animation, speak with programming, and moments to relax, and moments to see the art, if the art is going through the well through the correct way. And of course, there's moments to think if the working from concept art is going to the 3D model, because as you can imagine, it's obvious, from a concept piece of art to a 3D finished art, there's a translation between them. So we give the opportunity in order to analyze from concept art is if the key things that they are in the concept are in the 3D models. Okay, they are. So we move on. So this is very important for us to have moments in the pipeline to analyze and to reflect on these things. As I told you before, the audience, from the feedback from the audience is very important. We have an internal QA part of the team. Sometimes it's laughter when we see a very fun bug, and sometimes are tears because some things are not working. So they're moving between all these all these two feelings. We also go to a lot of events in order to learn how people play our game, and also we use testing platforms, because when you go on an event, it's very hard to see if this player is just playing quickly or saying things but not paying attention to the gameplay, or because there's too many things or too many noise in an event. So you can see, detect bugs and detect if people love the overall art style, the overall puzzles, but not all the mechanics. But you can see the real player. You have to use platforms or online. At the end of the day, online events or beta testing in order to see how players play. So we have been, and right now we are in a G round testing moment for weeks. We have been, I think, 3 or 4 times in G round already with Hidalgo, this receiving feedback, very valuable feedback, and in fact, the co-op mode came from a person or a few, a group of people that told us in G round, oh, why not creating a co-op mode, because you have two characters. So we decided to to create this co-op mode that we are right now very happy with it. And we also tested in a B tested platform, which is a platforms that use AI to detect the micro face movements and gesture, in order to distinguish how people are interacting with the game. They are bored, they are fun, they are scared, these kind of things, in order to give design, the design team, a very solid tool to see if the things that they are doing are really working for people. So what I want to highlight in this slide is that testing, play testing is very important. So play test a lot with inside, but also with outside from the team people. And the Kickstarter, which is a very important thing in our last year. We were working on the Kickstarter. The team was working on the Kickstarter for 10 months. We stopped the production and we stopped the development to focus on the Kickstarter because it's we find it we think that it was an important milestone for us in order to reach new audiences. I will tell you the results in a minute, but it was very important for us to reach new audiences. In Spain, it was a well-known game, but we wanted to reach the United States, Europe, the Asian market, and we thought that using or having the opportunity to be in Kickstarter, it was a good idea. In fact, Kickstarter is not a way to fund your game, but to do a little or a first step on the marketing area in order to spread or yes, to spread the word about our game. So in communication, in the area of the communication, we were very carefully creating assets for social media. We were talking with a lot of streamers and YouTubes. We had a lot of interviews in digital, but also in traditional media. We appeared in a lot of press media before the Kickstarter and during the Kickstarter. We went to a lot of events, including Gamescom, Indie Dev Day in Barcelona. And in the area of the marketing, we have a daily and scheduled post on social media, always focused on marketing, showing the development, showing different things, but with a marketing approach. We had we we take a budget for ads to reach more people. We showed 2D and 3D, also mechanics during the process, and also we had a lot of graphic design for presentation, events, ads. So a lot of work. All the team focused on creating assets for marketing, even the programming people creating new mechanics, prototyping mechanics in order to show how the game was going to evolve. Finally, we launched it in March last year and we finished in April. We managed to get almost $60,000, which 1,000 backers from all around the world, which was the thing that we wanted to spread the word about our game and to reach new audiences. In order to give you an idea, this data is better than the 80 video game funded Kickstarters. So we were very happy with the result of the Kickstarter and encourage us obviously to continue with new forces. We also have signed an agreement for the physical distribution for collector's edition and also a physical edition in Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. So these kind of things help us to increase the impact of the game, as you can imagine. We have also received a few awards related with the game, national awards, but also international awards. And this is one thing that for us we think it's very important in order to reach journalists, social media, to have a new visibility or new coverage in the media. Because, well, as you can imagine, to receive an award gives you new visibility. So I encourage you to always present your games to the awards. Maybe sometimes even if it's at the beginning of the process, because maybe yeah, okay, you want to receive the award, but you know how to present the award, how to package everything, how to create the presentation to show to the jury. So I encourage you to always present your games to any award that can be presented. So now I'm gonna show you trailer, the last trailer that we created for the Kickstarter. So this will give you an idea how everything evolved from the very beginning game in 2020 to 2025, which we are very proud, but also gives us the encourage us to continue improving.
Once upon a time, in the land of La Mancha, lived the brave knight Don Quixote and his trusty squire, Sancho Panza. Together they will go on awesome quests filled with wonder and mystery. You can play by yourself or team up with a friend to tackle the challenges. Switch between Quixote and Sancho. Together they've got all kinds of cool skills to help you. Solve tiny puzzles and get big wins to uncover hidden secrets. Discover an entire world handcrafted by my family. Experience innovative mechanics that bring our world to life. So, get ready for the adventure of a lifetime and be the hero of the legendary tale of Don Quixote de la Mancha.
And this is our story, our experience. I hope you find ideas to your for your own studio or your own story. So thank you for your interest and your while attending our talk. This is my code to access to or to add me in LinkedIn. So I will be happy to continue the talking there. But if I have any question right now, of course I will be happy to answer you. And also, again, thank you very much to In the Game Business for this opportunity. Congratulations on the great event.
Oh, thank you. You have some questions, so let's go ahead and get them popped up. Here we go. On YouTube from Vaporwave Studios. Did you need to publish some titles first before people would seek out your work for higher services?
Well, it helps. It helps to have something to show, but maybe sometimes it can be just in portfolio things, or maybe in each IO or this kind of platforms. The thing that we show, it's a solid deck with all the things that we can do and all our expertise in every area. And but for of course, if you think you have things that can be shown that have already been published, it will help to at the end of the day, it's more give more confidence to the people that maybe can need your services.
All right. Next one. Gendo Glow on YouTube. In your opinion, what is the most in-demand service other indies contract for?
We had 2 or 3 contracts on rigging and animation because there are not so many people in the environment and in the industry specialized on rigging characters and animating characters. And I would also say multiplayer multiplayer things related, more technical. I mean, for example, we had a contract helping people to to establish their architecture in Unreal Engine to make a multiplayer game. So this is also quite a specific area, and if you can specialize in that, maybe you will find an opportunity there. This is our experience, at least.
From Arnold on YouTube, what strategies or activities do you recommend to create an effective playtesting? Free demos. How do you get the audience?
Yes, I think a demo is essential to get an effective playtesting. So I recommend that, um, because that's the best way to see if people, how people are reacting to your game by playing it. So a demo that can include the ingredients that you want to test, I would do that. And how to get the audience? Well, there are many possible things or ways to access to your audience. Um, in the case of an effective playtesting, you can access to this kind of platforms as G-Round or Be Tested, or sometimes during a next fest in Steam. But also you can create your own community, humble community, and propose beta testing for maybe 2 weeks, and find who want to get involved. And this is a good way to start playtesting. You can ask them to record, or maybe you can ask them to be on an online playtesting with you. So there are many ways, and also there are some platforms, as I told you, that help us you to get this audience.
All right. Next one on YouTube. What are your favorite places to stay up to date on current trends?
Wow, well, this is quite interesting question. We used to use game analytics. We also use Steam Spy, and well, we also use this kind of platforms that gives you data on which are the games that are most streamed right now. Combining these tools, the game, for example, GameStats or Steam Spy, Gamalytics, these kind of platforms with trendings in streaming on YouTube or on Twitch, help you to give you an idea on which are the trends of this area. Also, the public data from Steam help you to see the trends. So it's a mix of things in order to give you an idea on how to do your market research.
All right. On YouTube, what do you use for 3D modeling?
I think you are asking about the software. Well, we use Maya, and also I'm not sure right now the other software, but we're usually open to the artist that is going to do or is working with us, in which software is comfortable, and if we can afford the license, we do that, because we think it's at the end of the day the softwares are quite solid right now. All even the cheaper one, or the free ones, and the ones that you have to pay a license, are very solid right now, and it gives you the opportunity of doing any 3D model. So we ask them in which in which software are they more comfortable, and if we can give them the license, we do that. Yes, it came to my mind. We also use ZetaBrush for organic models.
So, if you could give everyone who's watching some really good, like one really good core tip, what would it be?
Stay, think, or believe in your game, believe in your team. Give the opportunity of your team to be heard and to be listened, and stay working. And even in the hard moments, you have to be focused on your work, and yeah, and keep your heart up, because they're hard moments, but also they're very good moments when you see people playing your game and laughing with your ideas or your concepts. So stay hard.
What do you do during the hard moments?
Well, we try to, when a hard moment came, we try to find a solution for the hard moment, and a goal for everyone. So, for example, we didn't receive a public grant that it was very key for us a few months ago. Okay, we don't have this money. What can we do in order to get this money, or to change things in order that to this not to be a problem? So find solutions, find a goal, and give everyone a new step, a new goal.
Great tips. I
Thank you.
couldn't even imagine going out for some form of funding and then not getting it. How just disheartening that must be.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens a lot, but I don't think I have tough enough skin for that. I would be so sad every single time.
Well, we love what we do, so
Hmm.
that's I wouldn't say it's easy to overcome, but it helps if you love what you are doing to overcome.
Well, that always helps. All right, guys. Up next, we have Sean Alexander Allen, who's going to be doing his talk on 10 not so obvious ways to improve your launch. But I want to say thank you to Juan so very
Thank
much for
you,
your talk
everyone.
today. It was amazing. You were very
Thank you.
awesome. So stay put, guys. Our next speaker will be up here in a few moments. Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye. Thank you very much.